For 40 days, a shadow of fear loomed over the valley of Elah. On one side stood the army of Israel. On the other, the mighty Philistines. Confident and jeering. Their confidence came from one man, a giant named Goliath of Gath. He was a mountain of a man, over 9 feet tall, clad in heavy bronze armor from head to toe. His spear was as thick as a weaver's beam, and its iron point weighed more than most men could even lift. Every morning and every evening, Goliath would stride out and issue a terrifying challenge. He'd shout, "Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." For 40 days, not a single Israelite warrior dared to answer. The entire army, including their king, Saul, was dismayed and terrified. Fear had won the battle before it even began. But then, a young shepherd boy named David arrived at the camp. He wasn't a soldier. He was just there to bring food to his older brothers who were in the army. When David heard Goliath's taunts and saw the crippling fear of his countrymen, he wasn't afraid. He was indignant. He asked the men around him, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" David's words, filled with a fiery faith that seemed alien in the fearful camp, quickly reached King Saul. When brought before the king, the young shepherd, with no armor and no military training, said something astonishing. "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." Saul was skeptical. He looked at David, a mere youth, and then thought of Goliath, a warrior from his youth. "You are not able," he said. But David had his own kind of battle experience. He explained how he had protected his father's sheep from both lions and bears, trusting not in his own strength, but in God's deliverance. "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." Seeing David's unwavering conviction, Saul finally relented. He tried to give David his own royal armor, but it was too heavy, too unfamiliar. David took it off. He knew he couldn't fight in someone else's armor. He had to rely on what he knew and the faith he possessed. Instead, David walked down to the stream. He chose 5 smooth stones and placed them in his shepherd's bag. With only a staff in one hand and a sling in the other, he walked out to face the giant. Goliath looked down at the boy approaching him and was insulted. "Am I a dog?" he roared. "That you come at me with sticks?" He cursed David by his gods and promised to feed his flesh to the birds and wild animals. David's reply thundered across the valley, not with arrogance, but with absolute certainty. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." The battle was on. As Goliath lumbered forward, David didn't hesitate. He ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag, he took out a stone, placed it in his sling, and with a powerful, practiced whirl, he let it fly. The stone soared through the air, a tiny missile against a giant target, and struck Goliath squarely on his forehead. It sank deep into his skull, and the giant champion of the Philistines fell face down on the ground. Silence. Then a collective gasp from both armies. The impossible had happened. David ran to the fallen giant, drew Goliath's own massive sword, and ended the fight for good. When the Philistines saw their hero was dead, their courage shattered. They turned and fled in a panic, with the once fearful Israelite army now roaring in pursuit. That day, a shepherd boy changed the course of history. He proved that courage isn't the absence of fear, but faith in the face of overwhelming odds. This single act of faith was the first step on David's path to becoming Israel's greatest king. It's a timeless reminder that with courage and faith, no giant is too big to fall. Thanks for watching, and if this story inspired you, please like and subscribe for more.